Hi and welcome back to Bill's Cichlid Room, where after having such a disastrous month in March, April went a little bit better for me. I decided not to buy any new species, just to let things settle down, up the maintenance, keep my fingers crossed that I stop losing fish. Fortunately, I haven't lost any fish for about 6 weeks, so I'm more than pleased with that. A little bit late doing the update this month, but I've been busy doing other things, as you can imagine. Just one notification, the Northwest Cichlid Group auction, that's the first Sunday in July, and the lots, you can start booking the lots from the 28th of May. So if you're interested in that, here's a look at the leaflet, and hope to see some of you there. Anyway, let's get on, have a look and see what's been happening this month in the fish room. The first thing to have a look at is the Geophagus species Tapachus Redhead. Now, you may remember about 6 weeks ago, they actually had an attempt at spawning, which unfortunately was unsuccessful. But what I did last month, I actually moved them into a different tank to give them a bit more room to see if anything would happen. So this is some footage from earlier in the month. As you can see, the tubes are down. That's the male on the left, and this is the female here. So the tubes are down, and they've actually dug a little pit in the sand. So I've got high hopes. Well, I had high hopes at this stage that they would actually lay eggs. The other pair in this tank is the Amatelania the T-bar cichlid. So they've been trying to breed in the other tank as well, but it was a really busy tank and there was no room for them really. They did actually spawn and have wrigglers, but there was no room to raise them on. So I put the two pairs in this tank just to see whether I could get anything happening, any breeding activity, because I've not had much happening since like November, December. Yet, so you can see the pit that they've actually dug, and they're just going round. So they haven't actually laid any eggs at this stage, but like I could tell that it was going to be imminent. So this was the next day when I went down to the fish room. So you can see that there's a load of fungused eggs there. So I was a bit disappointed, but at least they've laid eggs in this one. But yeah, unfortunately these ones aren't fertilised. But I mean, the Cichlid, they actually had I thought they had actually bred. And the female had laid eggs in the pot over on this side on on the roof of the pot. But nothing come of that one, and then seeing the unfertilized eggs on this one, I thought the same. But this is from a day or two ago, so I'm not so sure now. I mean, have a look. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think they are actually holding? I think it was a bit unusual because normally when they lay the eggs, they leave them for a couple of days before they take them into the mouth, but it definitely looks to me like the male's holding, but I suppose time would tell, and fingers crossed. But yeah, do let me know in the comments what you think. So the other tank to look at, this is the one with the Carpinters, the Texas Cichlid. So not much happening in this tank really. I did thin it out a little bit at the beginning of March just to give the fish a bit more room. So the fish we've got in here, the Thomas Cichlid tuber, the one of those that I've got left. So I've had him for quite a while now. It's coming up to 2 years, but he's still only about 2.5 to 3 inches. So yeah, he's not done much growing. The Thorichthys passionis, I'm pretty sure that, pretty certain that they are a pair, but they haven't had any breeding activity yet. So yeah, time will tell. The Carpinters, as you can see, so I think the big one's the male. I'm just waiting for the female to appear out the rest of them. And there's 3 minor in this one. My original F1 female, an F2 male, and there's another F2 female as well in the tank. So yeah, over the next month I will do this tank up a little bit and see whether I can get anything happening in it. But yeah, it's not much happened, but as you can see, the fish are all quite lively. They're all waiting to be fed at the moment. Next tank to have a look at is the Lewisella, or the Fredestali as I should call them really. Yeah, so the 5 of those, still no breeding activity there. But the Cuban Cichlid, so as you can see, he's the smallest fish in the tank, and yet he thinks he's the boss of the tank. Like, he really does hold his own. So as you can see here, they're sort of ganging up on him, but he's not backing down, and it just moves them all away. So it's like this all the time in this tank. Yeah, they're really fascinating to watch. Yeah, so you never know, one day I might manage to get a female for him, but I mean, looking at him with these fish that are much bigger than me, he'd probably just tear it to shreds. But this is Central American cichlids for you. Yeah, the Madagascan polleni. I did actually put the female back in this tank about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were getting on like a house on fire again. No breeding activity this month though, but she just started hiding. She was staying at the back behind the bogwood and not coming out. So a couple of days ago, I've put her back in with the chocolates and the Geophagus again, just to give them a rest. This is Steph's grow out tank. So this is the Alanacarna Reuben Red. You can see some of them that the colours are starting to come through. You can see there's definitely some males. There's 2 of them there, and some females, and there's quite a few of the lemon blue-eyed plecos. They're the bristle noses. So yeah, it looks like she's got males and females of them as well. So these are getting ready really for the Northwest Cichlid Group auction. So it's the first Sunday in July, and you can start booking the lots the 21st of May. So yeah, well worth going. Some real bargains there, some unusual fish. You know, it's always a good day out. And these are the shell dwellers, the multifasciatus. So yeah, we don't know how many's in there. There's loads of them. Right, so this is the chocolate cichlid with the Geophagus and the female polleni. So yeah, she's a little bit aggressive in this tank really for the rest of them. But I did an update on this tank about 2 or 3 weeks ago on the chocolates and the Geophagus ceramensis. So I won't spend too much time on this tank. If you're interested in what's going on with those, if you check out that video, you'll find it in the playlist on the channel. Yeah, just waiting to put her back in with the male in a week or 2. Right, again with this tank, I did a species profile on the Bocorti. Did last week it was. So I won't spend too much time on this tank. But yeah, I thinned it out a little bit again, like for the auction. So yeah, they've all got a bit more room. Obviously, I've took the Sajaka and the pair of redheads out of here as well. So yeah, these ones have got a bit more room. A lot of different fish. I've actually got 2 of the juvenile chocolates in here now. So yeah, they're the ones hanging near the top. Again, all the tanks are waiting to be fed. I've not fed them yet today. Right, other thing to show you, the Festae Mesnoheros Festae. I don't know whether you remember, I actually got a group of about 12 grow outs. They were about 1/2 inch in size a couple of months ago. So I've had them growing on in these little tanks, but 4 of them have actually got like quite a lot bigger than the other ones. So that I've separated them out. So these are the smaller ones. I'll put 4 in the other ones, so hopefully these smaller ones have actually got a bit more room now to grow out and won't be getting picked on and have to fight for the food. Yeah. New species that I bought in April, the first new species that I've bought in, well, what is it? It's about 6 weeks. So yeah, the Thorichthys maculipinnis or Ellioti, put them in the tank. They laid eggs on the rock within 2 days, and I've got wrigglers already. So I've only had them for about 10 days. So yeah, a really good result with those. As you can see, they're only a really young pair, but yeah, they've paired off and started breeding already. So I'll do another video on this in a few weeks' time. and see what happens with the fry. I'm not really planning on raising them, but yeah, see what happens. The Thomas Cichlid, Astrakhi, and the Rainbow Cichlids. Yeah, so this tank's going really well. Actually, I had some eggs off the Astrakhi about a week ago. They laid them behind the pot underneath that slate there. So yeah, they laid them. Nothing come of it, but yeah, they definitely laid the eggs. The other thing I did, all the small tanks, I had a lot of things growing out since just before Christmas. So I've moved the Defenestratus into another tank, and I've put, there's 3 different species in here: the chocolates, the Neotropolis, and the Rainbow Cichlids. So I've put them in this much bigger tank, give them a lot more room to grow. Just have to do lots and lots of water changes on this because I will be feeding this tank quite heavily. So yeah, hopefully some of these will be ready for the auction come July. Yeah, but there's quite a lot. It's surprising that I'd managed to get them in the tanks, and yeah, I'm wondering why they're not growing so much. It's not until you move them you actually realise how many there are. Yeah, so they're doing really well. There was a couple of really small ones that I actually called when I was moving them. But yeah, let's see what happens there. So the Defenestratus, so I've put the pink Defenestratus in with the grey Defenestratus now. So these are the grow outs. So there's also the pair of Cutteri in here, the pair of Nicaragua Gwents, and there's the male Neotropolis, the original F1. So I will be moving those ones out of this tank in the next week or two. I'll probably put them in with the Carpinters. But yeah, with the Defenestratus, so I did a rough count on it. So I think there's between 50 and 60 of them in here now. And they're between 2.5 and 3 inches in size. So yeah, I did quite a good haul. I took some into Predator Aquatics at the weekend. Managed to pick up a pair of fish, but a little bit more on that later in the video. So yeah, there's some really nice colours coming out in these. Yeah, it's interesting to watch them develop. Again, on this one, because it's really overstocked, I will have to do lots of water changes on it. When I was catching the Defenestratus to put in, there was 1 or 2 other little fish that were in there. Some minor, right? So I've put them in this tank with the other ones. There was a couple of Neotropolis. I've put them in there, and there was a couple of Nicaragua Gwents grow outs as well. So I've put them in here as well. So yeah, what's happening in this one? There's a pair of Neotropolis actually started breeding behind that bogwood. So there's some of the fry there that you can see. We've already had a pair of Cutteri breeding in this tank. That one at the front there, the stripy one, that's the Spelaris. So I've got a load of grow outs of them as well. They're still in the small tank at the moment. Yeah, and there's the 6 of the Defenestratus, the grey Defenestratus in this one growing out, but they're getting really big. They're probably 3.5 inches. Yeah, a really interesting tank, this one. Always loads going on. Again, they're waiting to be fed at the moment. Yeah, so the idea with this tank is to grow them on, get a couple of pairs for myself, and then obviously I can spread the other ones around the hobby through the auctions and the fish shops. It is always a good feeling when you get them breeding again. After you've raised the youngsters and then they start breeding again by themselves. Well, I did actually get another pair of fish this weekend just gone, but seeing as it's May, I've not included it in the April update. It's a rare fish, not from Central or South America. If you want to see what it is, you'll have to watch the next video. See you all again soon. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, make a note in your diary for the first Sunday in July for the Northwest Cichlid Group auction.